Here it comes. Oh, maybe not. Yeah.
Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
And here we go. Here I am.
Good morning.
Live. Oh, there you are.
JT,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Okay. We
got
you.
technical difficulties.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to wait till I get on the show. That's part of the deal. Good morning and welcome to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. There was some internet issues, so we're doing it via phone. Right. Totally out of my control.
I'm here.
Good morning, JT. You're on the Titan MR hotline.
Yeah. Well, great to be here. Thanks. Good to hear from you there, QB. QB, you know, I am excited. We've got a full day of Masters golf to watch today, and it's Good Friday, of course. And you know, this is going to be cut day. We're going to find out who makes the cut, makes the weekend for this tournament that we all love to watch. And QB, I'm really angry that when we did our Peachland Dental picks, I forgot to take the one guy that I took in the 6 other pools that I'm in. And that would be one of your co-leaders today, Brooks Koepka, who is playing for the first time probably as healthy as he's been in the last 3 or 4 that he's played at the Masters with his knee. So yeah, what were your takes from the initial or from the first round there, bro?
That the course is way too easy.
Yes, I know. I know you would say that.
If they don't, I don't understand why Augusta National will not. That the fairways are as big as they are at the Bob Hope Classic. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you watch today how big those fairways are,
yes.
If they would grow the rough and bring the fairways in, they wouldn't be shooting 7 under par. I mean, I love birdies. I love the par fives because they, you know, it's a risk reward type deal. But it's just it's frustrating from a guy who loves golf that I mean, honestly, some of those guys could have shot 9 or 10 under par yesterday. They made short putts. So, you know, that's the only thing that disappoints me with the Masters these days is with technology and how strong and how far these guys hit the ball. They have to bring the fairways in, JC, and grow the rough.
Yeah, no argument here. I know they've tried to do some tinkering with tee boxes, but you're right about the rough and fairways. Absolutely true. I think what they sometimes often do is sometimes they'll let these guys get out to a hot start in the first round. Then they'll tinker with pin placements and try to make the greens harder, that kind of thing. Maybe we won't see 65s and 66s today. And of course, if the rain comes, then that course really has very little defense as far as I'm concerned, because they're all long enough to reach these holes, and the greens will be not as hard or as slick or as difficult, regardless of where the pins are, because these guys are just going to shoot it, stick, and the ball won't go anywhere if the greens are wet. So, yeah, they can dry the place out very well. The technology there for that course to uphold in bad conditions is as good as it is anywhere in the world. But when it's wet or when the greens are wet, which will happen tomorrow and maybe some tonight, those guys are just going to go pin hunting, and the ball won't roll the same way. So I don't know. I think you're right. It doesn't make sense to me why the rough is not the rough. It's called, to me, it's like the second level of the fairway when they don't hit it in the regular fairway. So I agree. I don't want to see. I don't want to see 19 under. I don't want to see 20 under.
Well, you're going to, because there's no defense. If it rains, rain does nothing to these guys, and it's going to pour. It's going to pour the next 2 days. I don't know how much golf they're going to get in.
It's going to make it easier,
but it's going to make it way easier. So, I complain about it every year. I hate complaining about the Masters. That's the only complaint I have, because when you do hit it in the rough there, the ball is sitting up on like a tee because the grass is so nice. If they would bring the fairways in, maybe 6 feet on each side, 6 to 10 feet, make it tight, grow the rough. Now you're going to see people struggle, but it's still the greatest golf tournament, prettiest place on earth. I love it.
It's the prettiest place on earth, but I'm not sure it's the greatest golf tournament anymore when they don't do anything to make the thing challenging for these guys. Now, listen, I get it that number 11 is a 525 or 35 yard par 4, but for us, that's ridiculous. For them, it's 2 shots and they're on the green. I mean, I watched Gary Woodland, Brooks Koepka, and Danny Willett yesterday on number 11. They drove it in the fairway. It's supposedly the hardest hole on the course, right? They both drove it on the fairway. They were within 20 feet underneath the hole on their second shot. So, 240 yard shots, 225 yard shots, 230 yard shots for these guys is not the most difficult thing they do on tour.
It's just a smooth 5 or 4 iron for them.
Yeah, that's right.
It's no different at 13. They moved the tee box back on 13 to make the second shot more challenging, and they're still hitting that green with ease. So anyway, it's still a great golf tournament. I don't know how much golf will be played today or tomorrow. It's like 90% chance of rain, I think, today, and 100% tomorrow. Now, if it's like just drizzling or whatever, they will play. But if you got a downpour, I don't know how much golf they'll get in there, which is a shame because it's such a great weekend for everyone. And it seems like weather the last few years has always affected it.
Yeah. Well, next week it's going to be perfect. Throughout the whole week, I looked on the long range forecast. It's going to be perfect in Augusta. But they scheduled it this weekend and got unlucky with the weather. That's just life. I think, if they have to play on Monday, so what? Play on Monday. What are we worried about the Hilton Head tournament next week? Play on Monday. I mean, really, who cares? We're talking about the damn Masters, the first of 4 majors. You play it on Monday. It will be dry on Monday. Well, it won't be dry, but it won't rain on Monday. And they can also fix things on Sunday after the rain hits them tonight and tomorrow. I think they're going to get many of the players will get in their round today. I think QB, because they started at 7:30, so they're out there right now. And the morning tee times are already playing. These were the afternoon tee times from yesterday. So Brooks Koepka, John Rahm, those guys are going to tee off this morning. I think they'll get their round in today before it starts to hit, the weather that is. But I don't think that you're going to see a whole lot of golf tomorrow. And that's unfortunate because it's Saturday. And, of course, we do have XFL football to watch tomorrow and get ready for. But and then baseball, QB, I don't know if you've kept up. I know it just got started and things are just very early in season. But, hey, the Tampa Bay Rays are 6-0, just in case anybody cares. Tampa Bay Rays are 6-0. So.
Well, you didn't care about baseball the other day when I asked you.
I don't really. You're right. I just noticed that the Tampa Bay Rays are 6-0. The Atlanta Braves are 5-1, I think. Those are 2 teams of high local interest, and my Yankees are 4-2. We didn't pick the World Series winner or the 2 league champions this last time. I mean, we can still do that, QB. It's early enough.
I'll be like you. I think the Braves were favorite to win it all. I'll take the Braves. How about that? That's something JC would do.
How is that like me?
Because you always pick and change your tune to whoever's playing better. No,
look, I'll take the New York Yankees.
Well, the Yankees need to get into the play. When's the last they spent so much money having a World Series in like 14
they're
years.
Always in the QB, come on, they're always in the playoffs. They just can't beat the Houston Astros. They lost last year to the damn Astros. They lost the year before. They always lose to the Houston Astros. They can't beat the Astros. But they're like the Royals of my childhood who couldn't beat the Yankees. Great team during the season, got superstars. Can't beat the Yankees. Well, here are the Yankees. Good team during the year. Got superstars. Can't beat the Houston Astros. That's what I live with right now on baseball. But it's okay. 27 championships, bro. 27. Nobody comes close to that.
Here we go. Hey, Chris Storing Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Storing Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Speak with JC on the Titan Hotline. Seth Harp take over the second part of today's program. Dan has a Facebook Live brought to you by Melton Law. Says, JC, how do you like the 800-1 Tiger to make an eagle?
Oh, is that what you got to do that. I mean, absolutely. Why can't he?
Why wouldn't you put $10 or $100 on that?
Why wouldn't you?
There's let's see, at least 1, 2.
There's 3 holes.
At least 3. Shoot, all the par 5s are they hit every par 5 and 2 there. Every one of them.
About. Yeah. Number 2, you can also birdie 8.
They all hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've hit, not birdie it, eagle it. There were eagles on all par 5s yesterday. Not just one, multiple. So yeah, that would be a smart wager. Lot of Facebook Live comments here about Gator baseball. They take game 1 up in Knoxville, 8-1, 3 home runs. Gator softball wins in a walk-off against Auburn. Tim broke out some new uniforms yesterday. They're pretty sweet. Orange pinstripe jerseys.
Who has those? You cut out. Who has those?
It's the Gator softball. Orange
softball.
Pinstripe jerseys. They're sweet.
That's kind of how about, but listen, man, Sproat was on it yesterday. 7-0 on the road. Home runs from Curlin, Rivera, and Riopel. I mean, our folks up in Knoxville got a taste of the team that's gonna win the SEC this year and probably win a lot more than that. And it just happened to be my luck that when I was in Mississippi last week in the sports book, I took the Gators in the first game against Auburn and they lost, and forgot to come back the next day and bet on them at home when they beat Auburn. Hey, listen, man, the Gators are the real deal. They're legit. They're my team to go all the way. I mean, 6-1 last night in Knoxville. Sproat was unhittable. And when that happens, nobody's beating them. I don't care if they're playing the Astros. So just go Gators. I mean, listen, I've been on this bandwagon now for 3 weeks, so I'm not really just on it. I'm sitting deep in that bandwagon, bro. I've got a permanent seat by the window. So
you're very good at jumping on the bandwagons, regardless of what team it is. So you have experience there, JC. Greg says, and do this briefly, JC.
Oh God,
JC, please give us a breakdown of the Lightning's last 2 games.
Well, okay, so the Lightning's last 2 games, last night did not go very well for them. I'd say the fact is that they are resting, getting themselves ready to play Toronto. They know who they're going to play. They're playing Toronto. They will be the lower seeded team, which means Toronto will have home ice if that's important. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But right now it is pretty much a lock. Well, it is a lock, but they're going to play the Maple Leafs in the first round. And unfortunately, the way the NHL hockey works, if they beat Toronto, they'll have the pleasure of playing Boston. And that's just, I mean, that's just silly the way they do these playoffs. You're playing the best team in hockey in the second round of the playoffs. I don't like it. But look, beat Toronto. They got to beat Toronto first. That's not going to be easy. Toronto's very, very good hockey. Very good.
We got a couple of texts on the Titan MR text.
The rest
from Chris and Mike. He says he's hearing the new QB commit has enough high school credits to graduate this year and enroll now. Have I heard anything about this? I have not. I don't know why anybody would do that. Go enjoy your high school days and play with your buddies.
Yes.
Would you do that, Jake?
No. Why? I mean, listen, Florida's got their quarterback. They're going all in on Graham Mertz. Start thinking about that. And I get that you want to talk about the future, and it's okay. Recruiting's important. That's true. But we're just guessing. These are all hypotheticals. Right now, we know that Graham Mertz is going to be the number 1 starting quarterback. At least I feel that way. And so that's who you should be focused on, I think, if you're really worried about it. I'm not, and I don't care. I look at Florida, and I think the opener at Utah will be extremely difficult, but it's not impossible. And then I think of, 2024 and 25 when Oklahoma and Texas are in the league, the way the schedule is going to work out with 9 games and potentially who Florida's going to get in that first season based on a lot of projections from people who are in the know, and it's frightening what they could be looking at on the schedule. But that's so far out in the future that it's not worth worrying about right now, but it's fun to think about sometimes. But I think Graham Mertz is your guy. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. No, I would not leave high school. No.
No. Well, it's not even DJ Lagway he's talking about another kid. DJ Lagway committed to come in next year. So I don't know anything about it. I don't know why anybody would reclassify. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I know kids do that in basketball. Basketball and football are two different deals.
Yeah.
Two different deals for sure.
Yeah.
All right, baseball, JC, back to we had a couple of comments on the Titan our text line wanting to know they missed the program, but they were curious who we picked in our Peachland Dental Masters picks. I'll go through them right now. I think all of them are probably going to make the cut. My picks were Morikawa, Homa, Finau, and Xander. You had Scheffler, Spieth, Thomas, and Rory. The only two that I think Rory's even par. Everybody else is under par. I don't know about Justin Thomas. What did he shoot yesterday?
It was -2 under, and I'm not sure what Max Homa shot either. But
he shot Thomas, 1 under, I believe.
He was 1 under. Okay, yeah. No, I think these guys are all good to go. If they don't blow up today, I don't see any reason why. There was some controversy yesterday with Morikawa unmarking his ball, but it didn't amount to anything. It was stupid. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, my God. Oh, he marked his ball.
His ball moved. He put it back where it's supposed to, and his coin wasn't where it was. And I saw it all over Twitter. Here's the thing. Now, people were talking about he's starting to be like Patrick Reed. That's ridiculous.
That's not true.
I mean, that's the great thing. I've always said it about golf. You have rules, and you play by the rules. You don't have anybody calling the holding call coming back when you throw a touchdown. You don't have some Russian judge or whoever on the ballot beam giving somebody a 9.7. Golf has rules. You play by the rules. And for the most part, 99.9% of the people in the world play by the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at that level, without a doubt. I mean, there's so much scrutiny.
Well, even at your level, JC, when you hit it out of bounds, you hit it in the tee box. When it's safe, you ask your competitors where it crossed, where it should drop. There are rules out there. So,
that's right.
It's a great sport. So just make sure you play by the rules.
Michael Jordan says it's the hardest sport. The most difficult to be great at. So there you go.
I agree 110% with that. No question about it.
Yeah.
What did your take? I don't know how much coverage you watched, but there's been a lot of people bitching and complaining that a lot of the live guys didn't get a whole lot of TV time. I thought they showed a ton of Koepka.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Koepka, maybe they were talking about like Cam Smith. Listen, they're going to show the guys who are, I guess, who are at the top of the leaderboard in a lot of ways. But I think in the first round, I watched the masters.com or masters.org 5cast. There were 5 screens to watch on your computer. You had Amen Corner, you had 15 and 16, you had 7, 8, 9 cameras spread out so you could watch different aspects of the tournament and basically choose who you wanted to watch. As far as ESPN is concerned, I didn't watch much of that coverage because I like kind of scouring around and seeing some of the guys that I picked in some of my pools. I watched a lot of what Koepka did yesterday, and I'm telling you, if he drives the ball in the fairway and he is, in position on approaches to the green, he's going to be a big factor. And not many people were talking about him. Last week he won where he was. He played really well, and I thought it was a no-brainer that he's going to carry over into this tournament. I think he's going to shoot in the 60s today. I think he's going to be a factor for the final 2 rounds. And I didn't hear a lot of attention to him. And he's kind of lamented the fact that being on Live Tour, he almost said, I think he said something about he almost feels forgotten somewhat playing on that tour, but he took the money and ran. So you can't feel sorry for him. He made his bed. Now he can always just call up Saudi Prince bin Mohammed and give him back the money maybe, and then come back to the PGA Tour, but he's not going to do that. So, hey, that's just what we got. That's just what we got. Dustin Johnson was not a factor yesterday. He didn't make any shots. He didn't make any birdies. Nobody cared. Mickelson got some coverage yesterday. Okay, great. Harold Varner, I saw maybe a shot or 2 of his, but who cares? And really, Cam Smith, he didn't really do anything exciting. So why wouldn't we look at John Ross?
Cam was like 2 or 3 under, I think. He'll be in the hunt.
John Ross,
but
listen,
you just said as long as Koepka hits fairways. Let me tell you something. Go back in your mind right now. Go back in your mind right now. All the golf you watched yesterday, did anybody miss the fairway?
No, right. You're exactly right. The answer is no. And the thing is, but Koepka is one of the longer players, and he is really good with the long iron shots. Okay, he makes these shots into the green. Listen, he has won 4 majors. Okay, and he could have easily won the Masters already once, easily. So hey, this guy, if he's healthy, could be a 6 or 7 time major champion, just like Gary freaking Player, if he was healthy. And now that he is, I don't know how you can't pay a lot of attention to him. And I picked him on every pool except the one we did with Peachland Dental, and I'm really not happy with that. But at any rate,
no, I've always thought his demeanor, the way he handles himself, he can win anytime he wants to win.
Right. So, and anytime he wants to win. That's right. Now, what I was also impressed with was how about John Rahm doubling the first hole? He 4-putted. Okay. He 4-putted, made a 6, comes back and shoots 7 under. That tells you right there how easy the damn course was. I mean, 7 under.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's I mean, the more I think about it, I mean, they've got to do something different, because I'm telling you right now, if that, which is going to, the whole area is going to soften up, and you talking about guys hitting it close, they're going to take dead aim.
Dead aim. So that it doesn't matter where these guys put the pins. That's used to be the way they defended that course, was the greens and where the pin placement was, and everybody was worried about that. But it doesn't matter if those greens are soaky, and they can dry that place out better than just about any place on earth. But it won't matter when you get 1.5 inches of rain. A lot of times that place is going to get wet, and these guys are going to just throw darts. And so, that's what we're looking at. I hope they can get all 4 rounds. I think they play it on Monday if they don't have the ability to get in 2 rounds this weekend, which I don't think they will. We'll see.
They've already said they're going to play Monday.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then I missed that. Good. They should.
I could have sworn I heard when Scott Van Pelt did his little thing yesterday, which he's outstanding, by the way. He said that they will finish this thing up on Monday.
Okay. Well, I'm all for
it. JT, so what do you got going on for Easter? You got Easter egg hunts for any youngins or anything?
No. And definitely go to church. Got to get there early. Leave 30 minutes before church starts, everybody, because you're going to get all the stragglers that don't show up to pop in. And then you're going to have, we got a brunch after that with my mother. She's going to be 82 this year in August. God bless her. So we'll have brunch with Mom. And then my wife is going to head off to Texas, and she's going to go to do some things over there, and then bring her parents back here to stay with us for a couple weeks. So that's what we've got planned. We got plenty of room. Let's go.
That sounds a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun.
Are you ready to call some plays? You guys have 2 games. 2 games. I know you don't like talking about it that much, but I'm going to keep bringing it up as long as you're a factor. You got 2 games to win. You win these 2 games, you'll be in 2nd place in the South Division, and nobody wants to play the Guardians. I'm actually getting excited again about the Guardians. Nobody wants the Guardians.
Nobody wants to play
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't want the Guardians. So let's get those guys running.
Yeah, we got Stooksy and Scotty Spurrier, the head ball coach. The whole Spurrier clan will be down there this weekend.
How
about
it?
So
is Bubba
Dan
going?
says here before we get out.
Good.
Huh?
Is Bubba going to be there? Bubba?
Bubba's probably got spring ball going on.
Yeah, I would think that's right. Yeah.
Dan says before we get out, he says ESPN has the stats for driving accuracy and greens and regulation, etc., and they are sky high. Tell you, nobody misses the green. Nobody. The fairways are way too big. I'm gonna start arguing with all these PGA people. It's just they're way too wide. So
yeah.
All right, Jesse, you there? We'll get out
yeah.
We got to get out of here.
All right.
Good Easter, my man.
Yeah, you have a good Easter. Good luck down in Orlando, and enjoy the Masters. We'll catch you on Monday.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan & More Hotline. Going to take a quick timeout. Come back. Seth Harp will finish up today's program. Happy Easter to all our viewers and listeners out there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, this is Steve Spurrier, former head ball coach of our Florida Gators. Business is booming at our restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. So we're looking to hire 3 top quality front of the house managers and assistant managers. Restaurant talent acquisition is like building a championship football dynasty, and I'm recruiting great people to join our newest team. Thanks to the overwhelming support of people here in Gainesville, the Gator Nation, and fans of all the teams, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is one of the busiest restaurants in the state. And with our weekend brunch buffet and our takeout options coming soon, we're looking to add a few new restaurant leaders. Everyone knows a coach sometimes is about as good as all of his talent, his players, and his assistant coaches. And if you have a restaurant management experience and are looking to work in a fast-paced, fun environment, then go to www.spurriers.com and apply today. Thank you, and go Gators.
For their jobs, because they don't want to get fired.
Yeah, so as I said, if any listeners or whether you're near Orlando or not, just let me know. Send a message on here on Facebook, through the messenger, to the Titan MR text line. If you or your family members want tickets, I get a certain amount that I give out to people. I send them electronically. So and there's no cost. My treat.
Harp on Sports with you here on this Good Friday, taking over the second half of PodUp with Matthews in the morning. What do we have in store for you here on the second stanza of the show? Well, of course, you see I got my little Masters two-tone dry fit shirt on. No, look, it's the one golf tournament that doesn't move, right? Well, the players doesn't move either, but it's the one that, to me, always signified spring. And I heard the guys talk about it. I got some thoughts on it as well, as it's one of 4 weekends, actually 3, because the Open Championship in Europe just doesn't cut through like the other majors do. This one cuts through. It does. It cuts through and it ascends to the top of the discussion. The Ryder Cup never gets to do that, although the Ryder Cup is my favorite. It never gets to cut through because it's during football season. So it never moves to the top. It just falls away in the shuffle depending on what's going on. So I there's some controversy after yesterday. Tiger Woods, it shows us that time is undefeated, gang. Time is undefeated. And, I think he can flash, but that steady 72 hours plus that you need to win something like this. Look, it's one of those things that mentally, you got to focus. You just can't do things at 50 that you did at 40. You can't do things at 40 that you did at 30. You don't believe me? Try to eat like you did at 22. See what happens. So it's just one of these things, and I hate it, but there you go. One thing that I did see interesting about the whole Tiger Woods thing is that somebody dropped $222,000 on him to lose. Somebody bet $222,000 on him not to win the Masters. They net a whopping $2,000. So you bet 222 to win 2. Now, that's an easy bet, right? It really is. It's an easy bet if you got 222K laying around. I saw somebody do this a couple years ago with the NCAA basketball tournament when UConn was really, really good. They dropped like 150 grand on UConn to win their opening round game against the 16 seed. And that person won I think they paid like $130,000 to win like 1,000. So I guess if you got the money laying around, go for it. There you go. Again, Seth Harp in with you here on this Friday. Caught up with Matthews in the morning, of course, courtesy of Titan MRI Hotline, and Meldon Law. You got a question for us via Facebook? Fire away via Meldon Law, Facebook Live. Meldon Law, the only official legal partner of the Florida Gators. Okay. Oh boy. Again, I'm gonna get to the Masters here in a second. I want to start off with Gator baseball, though. Gator baseball and Gator softball. We had talked a little bit about this at the early stages of the week, and baseball had their struggles, had walked a boatload of guys, almost 20 guys last weekend, received close to 30 walks in the process. It was a rough weekend of slow, methodical baseball that you found a way to win 2 or 3 if you were Sully and the gang. And then Tuesday night, another rough outing against Bethune, a ton of walks. And, that's one of those things where you just muscle through and you win. But last night, I think is significant. It is. And it's significant for several reasons. The first of which is your ace pitched like an ace. Brandon Sproat's the ace of this squad. What's he now, 5-1? Is that what he is? 4-1, 5-1 on the bump now this year. And, Mr. Friday night, here you go. Although it was Thursday night because of the series shift. But hand him the ball, go out there, win the first game of the series. And he went out and look, when you can go on the road in this conference and do what he did, and then, you take a step back a couple weeks ago in the fact that he went out there and threw up a goose egg inside of the SEC. This dude, he had a rough outing against Auburn. And, against Alabama, he wasn't sharp. But the way that this team went up to, a rival to start a series in which they're 7-2, coming off a 4-game stretch where they weren't sharp and went 3-1. They weren't sharp. They won I don't say at their worst because they're not at their worst. They won at about, what would you say, 65%. There are days you just kind of wake up and you're going through things and you're about 65%. That's me today, gang. I'm about 65% today. I don't know what the hell's wrong, but I just can't. I feel like I'm running in peanut butter, right? The synapses aren't firing the way they should. So the fact that you're able to go on the road and do what they did last night, and now you just got to win one of the next 2, and you're sitting there at what, 9-3 in the conference? And I know there's teams that are playing really well right now. They're going to have double-digit wins. That's fine. That's fine. But what the baseball team did last night, I'm not going to say it's the best win of the season, because I think the shutout a couple weeks ago kind of set the tone for the season. But to be able to go on the road after what just happened the last week, even though you went 3-1, and go up there and there you go. And it's big. Now you got to make sure you just win one of the next 2. Win one of the next 2. Grind. And last night, I mean, again, was it perfect last night? No, not by any means. Still having some issues. But your ace went out and, control a little. But when you hold the opponent to a run on the road in this conference, no matter who it is, pretty impressive. Dan writing in, he's like, walk 6 and had 18 Ks last night. And I said, yeah. But, what did I see? There was one point in that Auburn game last Sunday where Florida had, 8 runs on 3 hits? And I think I went back through and looked at the run total last week. I think like 31% of the runs that scored were via walk. That wasn't the case last night. Got out of it. Got out of it. Got out of it. I heard Jeff saying that, got out of it. That's what aces are supposed to do, right? So there you go. And then softball with a big walk-off win. Look, you just need to stockpile success. Stockpiling success. And it leads back to the Masters a little bit, right? Stockpiling success. Okay, here's a par. Okay, now what I want. Okay, here's a birdie. Okay, stockpile, wins. Enjoy the wins. Enjoy the wins. Okay, it may not the best at bat in the world, but there's every now and then, and Caglione comes up, and every time he comes, it's like hit a home run, gonna hit a home run, gonna hit a home run, and every now and then he may, top one or whatever, just a base hit to right or a base hit up the gut, and it's like, it's like, yeah, it's a base. Come on, he's on base. He's on base. So again, it was a good night. It was a good start to the weekend for Florida Gators softball and baseball. Softball's back to 500. Baseball in the driver's seat now, and with again, no LSU series this year, no Arkansas series this year. Winning series is essential in this conference. Sweeps your death, and if you can win game one, you'll be in pretty solid shape, right? Pretty solid shape. And with the exception of this is the fourth series now this year. They've won the first game 3 times. Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, again, Seth Harp on Sports with you here on this Friday. Brought to you in part by Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance. Ruse Ogra, team dedicated to your insurance needs, with insurance professionals ready to help life go with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ograinsurance.com. Give them a call today, 352-240-1779. That's 352-240-1779. Okay, I'm looking at the Masters poll currently. Rolling in, PodUp with Matthews in the morning. Which player wins the Masters? 36% of you right now saying Scotty Scheffler. John Rahm, 45%. Tiger Woods, 9%. Tour guy, 9%. Now, the 9% of you that are voting for Tiger Woods, I don't know, gang, back there. Jared, I don't know who's got guys. I don't know. Do we issue drug testing here on PodUp with Matthews in the morning that 9% of the people polled still think Tiger Woods is going to win this thing? Hey, I'm trying to think of an example to give you where I am with Tiger Woods now. You know what? You know where I am with Tiger Woods now? It's like when I'm watching Robert De Niro in a movie. Tiger Woods playing golf to me is like when I'm watching Robert De Niro in a movie. When I think of Robert De Niro, I think of the second Godfather movie. I think of Casino, Goodfellas. Of course, all the mafia movies tie in. Cape Fear, remember Vengeance is Mine? The remake of Cape Fear, right? There were so many great Robert De Niro movies. I mean, this dude in the 70s and 80s, and I mean, a guy that was elite. Awakenings. Oh my, he's brilliant. What do we have now? Meet the Fockers 3. Well, there's something on the other night that I'm like, what? The Intern. I'm like, oh my God. And look, I get it. Make your money, man. Samuel L. Jackson talks about this. Like, I'm making a couple $1 million to pretend to be somebody I'm not. Oh, aren't you worried about your legacy? I'm making a couple of $1 million. Look at all the cool stuff I have. But what? But what? Yeah, Dan Bond. Now he's bad grandpa. See, and I don't want to pile on too much when it comes to this. But Tiger Woods is Robert De Niro now in movies. It's like, what? I know The Irishman a couple years ago. That was Tiger Woods in the Masters a couple years ago. It's like, oh my gosh, look at this. Is brilliant. We got some brilliance here. We got some brilliance. And then it's gone. And that's what's going to happen. Tiger Woods, for the rest of his career, he's an all-time great. And he still can be great for a day or two. It's just, time's undefeated. Time is undefeated. What's he had, like 5 surgeries on his back, something like that. And here we are. And I hate, each generation has a torch that's passed to that next guy that is, stop what you're doing, watch. Stop what you're doing, look. And, you know, as a kid growing up, I look around at that, and the guy that was that in the 80s, late 80s, that stop what you're doing, watch, was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was, everybody stop, watch. Now he's a funny guy that you see on videos, and they're like, oh, Mike Tyson, oh my God. But Mike Tyson was must watch. He was. We had never seen anything like him. I mean, Ali had his swagger and, you know, the robes and Sugar Ray Leonard and what we had in the 80s. And Mike Tyson comes to the ring dressed in, he's in all black. He's got a towel from the hotel. There's a slit cut out of it. He's got it around his neck. It's like, what the hell is this? He come in, just boom, 90 seconds later. Mike Tyson, I still contest to this day, is the only athlete in my lifetime that you didn't want your money's worth. Mike Tyson is the only athlete of my lifetime that you did not want your money's worth. I'm gonna fork over $60 for this pay-per-view. Please let it be over in a minute. Only guy. Every other game, every baseball game you go to, you go, I hope this is exciting. You don't want to go to a baseball game and be dull and boring. You go to a football game, you're like, oh my gosh, it's 3-0 in the third quarter. This sucks. Oh my God, is this dull? Must stop. Tiger Woods, from about 1997 to about 2006, was, oh my God. Those tournaments were concerts. So you had Tyson in the 80s, and then the baton got passed to Jordan, and then the baton got passed to Tiger. And in terms of draw and interest and intrigue, then it got passed to LeBron. Kobe was in there for a little while, but LeBron was the catalyst in terms of love, hate. I mentioned LeBron James. I mentioned LeBron James's kid. It's the most watched podcast I've been a part of in the last 6 weeks. I mentioned his son. Didn't even mention him. I mentioned his son. That's how intriguing and interesting. LeBron James's son. Do you want him to go to Florida? I could do 5 straight days of podcasts on that. I had somebody write me the other night about that. I did that show last week. I did the show like 10 days ago. I had somebody tweet me, was it 2 nights ago? You don't know what you're talking about. There's no way he's going to come here. It's like, oh my God, I did that show 10 days ago. You're right. He's not going to come here. He's not even considering it. That should burn you a little bit, but that's a different discussion. Where I'm going with this is with Tiger is now that we're watching this flame start to flame out. And I'm trying to figure out who that next guy is. It's probably Patrick Mahomes. And maybe, look, that baton probably already was passed. That baton may have been passed 3 or 4 years ago. Brady definitely was that guy, but Brady was successful. He won watching him, but Brady wasn't this cultural thing. Woods was a cultural thing. Jordan was a cultural thing. About Tiger Woods, Nike didn't even have golf clubs. Tiger Woods comes along to make golf clubs. Tiger Woods starts to pay, they quit making golf clubs. And a lot of people said if the product was so inferior, if he'd have had other brands, he'd have been better. But think about that. Tyson, what he did to boxing, the ring, in terms of dynamics. And then Jordan, Air Jordan, Tiger Woods, what he did to golf. Brady was that, but Brady didn't want to get involved too much in the apparel, the off the field stuff until later in his career. So we didn't get that part of him. And I'm watching Tiger, I'm going, okay, this is Tiger Woods still, when they do the individual watch the individual holes, watch the individual groups, DirecTV, and the different providers do that. He still gets more viewership than whoever's atop the leaderboard. And there used to be a time, not anymore. They quit doing this. If you have noticed this, that the leaderboard would have, Koepka 8 under, whoever, Rahm 6 under, 5 under, 5 under, 3 under, and then at the bottom would be T Woods +1. It'd be on the leaderboard. He would still be on there. When I started off, this is how long Tiger's been dominant. When I was in college, when I started doing sports updates, the rule of thumb was, okay, when you're going to do an update on the golf tournament, no matter what happens at the end, it doesn't matter if Tiger Woods is in last, you mention him. So you're doing the leaderboard in golf. You're talking about everything that's going on. And then you're like, and Tiger Woods currently sits 13 shots back at 3 over. No matter what, not that he was ever back there, but no matter what, every update you had to do Tiger Woods. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Kind of like when you were watching, back in the day, watching NASCAR, watching racing. It's like, where is he? Where is he? Where Danica Patrick was at? Okay, here we are. Danica Patrick's in auto racing now. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she on the, where is she? And does golf have that guy anymore? Well, it was Tiger, and we've been waiting for somebody to take that torch from Tiger. We thought, okay, here comes Rory. And then we thought, well, here comes Spieth. And then we thought, well, here comes Koepka. And then what? Now it's Scheffler. It's going to be Scheffler. Maybe for a year or two. Maybe for a year, but we don't have that. The torch has never passed. In the sport, you go back to Jack, Arnie, whomever, Gary, whether it was the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and golf has had a dominant golfer of each decade. Haven't they? I mean, 60s, you'd probably say Arnie, 70s, you'd say Jack, Gary in there being the 1-2 punch. And then 90s, not much in the early 90s, but Tiger took off in the late 90s and through the 2000s. Last decade, 2010 to 2020, Phil. But Phil won his Masters in the late 2000s. And Phil's a guy that I completely forgot about in terms of things. So again, as I'm watching the Masters, I'm like, okay, remember, and I try to drive this point home because you just saw it in the NCAA tournament. I am like most of you with golf. I'm sure you and I are a lot alike in golf. I'm stopping what I'm doing and how I feel about this. It's beautiful. It's going to be 90 degrees here this weekend, or in the high 80s. Give me a reason not to go outside. That's what I always talk about. Growing up in Indiana and Michigan, the Masters is always great because it's always terrible weather. So you sit inside and watch and go, man, that looks nice. In Florida, that's not the same. So I'm watching the Masters. I'm like, okay, well, give me a reason not to go outside. Give me a reason not to go outside. I'm not the I watch no matter what guy. I'm not. There's too much going on. I watch what's interesting. Give me interesting. And if it's a couple of nobodies or a couple of guys, I remember having this discussion at the Players when I was hosting in Jacksonville. Siwoo Kim won, and I'm like, oh my God, what a terrible tournament. What do you mean this is great? No, then under that logic, then it's great no matter what. No matter what, it's great. Siwoo Kim winning the Players is not good for the Players or the city of Ponte Vedra, or it's not good for anybody. The fact that there was nobody around, and then there was one year somebody won by like 9 shots. I'm like, oh, and then Rory won. It's like, oh, what do you know? Pretty interesting, huh? So who knows? And I know Shane's talking about the fairways and how big they are. The Masters is, look, I don't mind on day one if the course is opened up and people are out there at 6, 7 under. I don't mind that on day one. You want people interested in this tournament, and you get a bunch of people that are 2 or 3 over. I'm not a sadist. I don't want to see these golfers go out and shoot 4 over par. To me, I can go do that. I actually do worse than that. But come on, I don't want to. It's like, I like to see him struggle. Well, I like to see him challenged. I don't want to see him struggle. I want to see him challenged. I don't want greens like this and guys are hitting hitting in the rough and look like they're out there whacking sugar cane. No, I can't challenge them, but struggle, no. I want to see exceptional people do exceptional things. That's why we watch sports, right? We watch sports to watch exceptional people do exceptional things. Watching these guys struggle, no. So I don't mind it if they open it up like this and here we go, let's open up this course and have somebody go out there and fire 6, 7 under on day one. Day two, you rein it in a little bit. And that's what they'll do. That's what I fully expect them to do that today, where par will probably be a good score. And then Saturday, who knows how you tinker with it. I know, again, in one of the years of the Players, they were eating the course alive, so they made it damn near impossible, and everybody's shooting 2, 3 over on Saturday. And then they softened it up a little bit on Sunday. And so guys can go out and win the thing. So, again, Friday, just give me a name, and I've always said this when it comes to any major golf tournament. I'm just not. I know JC and Shade are different. That's good. That's fine. But I'm not the guy that's going to sit there and go, oh my God, the Buick Classic. I can't wait. I'm not. I'm like, all right, what do we got here? What? And then what they used to call it the Modiford stable system, where they do points instead of par. I'm like, plus 38. What the? What? Who's this guy? So look, Koepka's at the top. Koepka was a guy 4 years ago that had won what? He went back-to-back U.S. Opens. Here's a guy that had won like 4 majors out of 8. It's like, oh, he's doing a little Tiger Woods stuff. And then for the last 3 years, he hasn't done anything. So it's like, well, that's not true. They did win the Ryder Cup, but you know what I mean. So there you go. Dan writing is like, I like seeing those greens when they're facing one way and the ball goes the other. Again, I don't mind difficult putts. I'm more, I just don't want to watch a golf tournament where these guys are shooting 4 or 5 over. Why do I want to watch that? I want to see them challenged, right? I don't want to see them beaten down. I mean, there's that one year that they're out there watering the greens because they couldn't get the ball to stop. About 15 years ago, was that at Medina, U.S. Open? There you go. Harp on Sports here, second half of the show on this Friday. Brought to you in part by Comfort Temp. Comfort is their business. Peace of mind is the promise. Summer on the way. When's the last time your AC was tuned up? The time is now before the summer heat wave kicks in. Call Comfort Temp today. 352-376-2366. That's 352-376-2366. So there you go. You guys talking about Mike Tyson now. Mike Tyson, Dan says he was 58-6 with 44 knockouts. Yeah. How many times did Mike Tyson win by decision? Not very many. Not very many. The reason he came up was like, we're watching the end. I mean, Tiger. People said it was done 5 years ago and then he won. And so you told you it's not done. Because he's 4 years older now. I feel different than I did 2 years ago. I still think I'm pretty much in my prime. I'm not, but so is it over? Yeah, of course it's over. He could still be great for a day or two, but to be great for 4 straight days, no. He caught lightning in a bottle a couple years ago. And I can't think of the last time I watched. See, 4 years ago, he's coming back. Yeah, but he was getting through tournaments. He was getting through tournaments at 2 over. Now on day 1, he was laboring on day like 4 of tournaments back then, 3-4 years ago, laboring on day 3. Now he's laboring on day 1. He's in physical struggling on day 1. If you're tired after the second mile of a marathon, you're in a lot of trouble. And it's kind of where it is. So I don't care. I've always been one of these guys. I don't care who wins this thing, as long as it's a big name and it's interesting. Give me Phil, give me Rory, give me Spieth, Dustin Johnson. I know Koepka's up there, and Brooks Koepka's Tim Duncan to me. Brooks Koepka's Tim Duncan is like, yeah, I guess go Spurs. Good, very good, but it's not one of these things that, yeah. Dan, will Tiger compete in the Champion Senior Tour? That's a fascinating question. I doubt it. He's too competitive and doesn't need the money. And the Champion Senior Tour is for one of those people that, to me, you're trying to stay relevant. You still love the game and you still want to play. I think Tiger is more of a physical thing than it is the inability to hit the shot. So I think that, no, I think that's it. I'm done. There's certain athletes, when they're done, they're done. They, Peyton Manning want to get back in media. There's certain guys that walk away. They're like, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. Some are like that. Some aren't. Well, now that certain media entities are paid out $20 million a year to do, NFL games, I'm sure more athletes are going to get involved in media following their careers, but it's one of these things with this. Yeah. There you go. When it comes to Masters, it's Masters weekend. Again, it slides to the top. It slides to the top of interest, and it should. I just hope that there's a name up there that pulls it. Greg, Seth is about 43. You know what? Greg, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. Pot Up with Matthews in the morning. I hope that you learned that somewhere and you're not guessing by the way I look today. Part by QC Kinetics. If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief, not surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, locations in Ocala. We're now open in Gainesville as well. Give them a call, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. All right, there we go, gang. Again, enjoy your weekend. Masters, of course, ESPN Gainesville. We're going to have baseball on tonight, going to have baseball on tomorrow as the Gators look to continue their trek through Knoxville and sitting there at 8-2 in the conference. And now here's where, Brandon Sproatsman, Mr. Reliable Friday night. 3-1. 3-1. The Gators are 3-1 in first games of series in the SEC when he starts. So now everybody else, let's see what you got up there. Those Vols bats going to wake up. We'll find out. But Gators take game 1 and sit at 8-2 in the conference right now. And again, split this weekend. Sit at 9-3, heading back home. Pretty good shape. All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Take care. Appreciate the time. Appreciate the effort. This has been Seth Harp from Harp on Sports, in for Shane and the gang here on Pot Up with Matthews in the morning.